What is up, everybody? We are back. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did. I got full, even though I only ate one piece of chicken and went to sleep, so I had to go wake back up. But we are back with another Thursday. We got our Thursday night football. Them Cowgirls versus them Detroit Lions. And I ain't lying. My mama already told me it's cold out there in Dallas. It's really cold in the D. So we're going to get in there. We're going to talk about this college football playoff bracket, who's in. Y'all see what I got on? And who's out. So we're going to go ahead and get the show started, y'all. Welcome to Interstellar. What up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? How is everybody doing on this beautiful Thursday after we just got done kicking it for the Thanksgiving break? Hope everybody's Thanksgiving was wonderful, beautiful, and blessed. But now we're back at it. Let's get to it. Let's start off with this college football playoff bracket. Shout out to them Florida Gators for beating Texas and giving us the most entertainment on the timeline when it comes down to Texas actually crying, talking about they don't want to play Ohio State, cancel the game, Sarkisian going on a rant that they don't need to play Ohio State since they're not being rewarded and that they will still get in with a loss with Florida. So let's start off with the Florida Gator himself. What do you think about the college football rankings after you did knock off the big juggernaut? But what do you think about that and about Texas really actually trying to get in as a 3-loss team?
I mean, listen, as Denzel Washington said himself, we were leaving here with something. All right, we were leaving here with something. So no, listen, it was nice. I mean, I think for both programs it was different. You know, like I think for Texas, to your point, like 3 losses, you're still trying to get in. You know, like that was not the game you needed to lose. Whereas for Florida, you know, I think it kind of puts a step maybe in the right direction. You know, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole 3-loss thing. I mean, I think the rankings for the most part were pretty. I don't think they were. I think they were pretty fair from what I'm recalling right now quickly in my head. But as far as Texas and the 3-loss, they had lots of games this year where they didn't like look good, looked really competitive and things like that. We know about the struggle, especially early in the season. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting what happens. But I'm not too high on them trying to get in with the 3 losses.
Okay, J. Mick, what do you think about Texas crying and boo-hooing and everything that they don't want to play Ohio State next year? What do you think about that? And do you think a 3-loss team deserves to be in the playoffs?
I don't think a 3-loss team deserves to be in because I don't think we ever had a 3-loss team in the playoffs to begin with. And to me, I love to see Ohio State not let them out of that because, like, when you do these, like, home and away, like you sign a contract. Yeah. I mean, so unless both schools agree to it, and I mean, if I'm Ohio State, I'm like, it's not gonna hurt them. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, if you look at the Big Ten, at most Ohio State gonna lose 2 games a year. I mean, if they have the same coaching, same recruits, I mean, there's no one really to challenge them. So I wouldn't back out if I were them. And then Texas, it's like you signed on for that, so you got to just live with that. And to me, I don't think it's the Ohio State loss that did them in. I know people point to the Florida loss, but like we took them to the woodshed. Like that game was not close. And the second they lost that game, I'm like, I don't care if they beat Texas A&M. Then I've been saying they weren't going to get in. And then you got some 2-loss teams that's not getting in. So I mean, to me, they don't deserve it. I could point to 2 or 3 of the games that they shouldn't have won that they somehow pulled through. Mm-hmm. So I just
they should be a 7-5 team.
Yeah, so I just think it's one of them years that they just don't deserve it. They're not going to get in. I mean, you got other teams like Miami. You got a team like Notre Dame. If the right thing happened, Notre Dame ain't getting in either. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, if BYU somehow beat Texas Tech, I mean, Notre Dame not getting in. So like they're on the outside looking in with 3 losses. Like I said, there's teams with 2 losses that's not going to get in. I didn't even mention all the 2-loss teams that's not getting in. So it's just one of those things. I mean, like, you got to win the game you're supposed to win, and they just ain't do that.
Man, Big Michigan. Big Michigan. Big
Yeah,
M representing. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think a 3-loss team like Texas should be able to jump right on in because they played the top 10, or do you think that they should be sitting at home?
so I think I've been saying it for a couple of years now. I think the expansion has opened it up to possibly a 3-loss team, getting in there. When we talk about Texas, I think both you guys, what I'm saying, made great points. It's just not really about the Ohio State loss, in my opinion. What I'm saying, from the outside looking in, Ohio State loss is probably the biggest or the best red flag on their resume. When you look at the loss to Florida, who was not a good team. I'm sorry, Sniggins, but not seen as a powerhouse this year.
It's true.
Them having some struggles against in some other games against some lower tier teams as well. I don't know that if they say they don't play say they don't play Ohio State and they play Sacramento State or whoever they play, are they for sure in, or are they amongst that group that is right there with the Miami, with the Notre Dame? Kind of trying to figure it out, because again, they got taken to the woodshed, like Jay Mick said, in Georgia, and then you have the loss to Florida. So who knows if they're definitely in or not with 2 losses. But to your point about a 3-loss team, what if Alabama loses?
That was actually going to be the next topic. So we're actually going to get to that. We're actually going to get to that. Because we did, us Georgia fans really did have a conversation about this, but all in all, Texas is the only one that actually gave Ohio State a game. Let's be real. Let's be real with that for the season. I really thought Michigan was going to come out, because they came out looking like they were going to do something, and then it was all mirage after a while. We have to talk about that. But
shout out to DT. Shout out to Ohio State, man.
Yeah. Good game. But
I take one every 5 years. I take one
every 5 years. Okay.
Come on. Okay. That's how it's gonna come. Hey, give it to me.
Okay. But no, so Texas was the only one really that gave them the biggest game. They only lost by 1 score. So I'm not going to say that that's what held Texas back. That actually is the reason why y'all ranked so high that you are actually ranked. Let's be real, because you did. You had 2 close losses. Georgia took Mississippi State behind the woodshed in their own home. We did that. And you guys had to go to overtime. If Mississippi State didn't do what they, didn't wet the bed at the end, they could have actually won. Everybody know it's tough to play in Kentucky. We didn't have our little run-ins with Kentucky. I know Snug and them had their run-ins with Kentucky. Kentucky is hard to play in. You went to Kentucky and had to go into overtime with Kentucky, and then they were claiming their best win was against Vandy. When you let Vandy come in and score 16 points in the 4th, with not that much time left where they could have won. So again, Texas has not looked good. They are not a good road team. Majority of their losses or close-knit losses have come on the road. And in the playoffs, we all know you got to go to neutral sites. You got to be on the road. You can't just sit over here and think, well, we can play at home and win. So there's that. No, and I don't think Texas is getting in. I know they said they can re-rank everybody, move them up, move them down, but they already said they only had 50 rushing yards against Florida. And then Texas only had 19 against us in the second half. So there's that. Texas, y'all not getting in. All right. So let's move on to these championship games. I know we have the Big Ten, where you got Texas Tech going against BYU. This is the rematch. As we seen, Texas Tech took BYU behind the woodshed too, broke them down. But they have some little things going on where a lot of people don't think that Tech can possibly beat BYU. It is hard to beat a team twice in the same season, but I don't know. BYU looks good, but I don't know. Texas Tech might got their numbers. So I'm gonna start with you, Sehan. What do you think about this game between Texas Tech and BYU?
I think it's going to be a great game. Like to your point, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season, but I'm not going to lie to you. Texas Tech kind of beat them kind of decisively the first time. So I can see them maybe closing the gap a little bit, but I am rooting for the underdog. I am rooting for a little bit of Armageddon in this whole college football playoff ramp up as we kind of come down to the end here. So I'm hoping that BYU can probably pull off this win and possibly cause a little bit of mischief and chaos and add a second team from the Big 12 into here. But right now, as a betting fan, right now I'm going with Texas Tech over BYU in this game.
Okay. Snugs, what do you think about this matchup between Texas Tech and BYU?
Let me tell you a little something real quick, okay? The BYU coach was being flirted and taunting and lots of different teams, right? And then look what BYU did. They said, no. We're not going to let you go anywhere. We're going to pay you. Let me tell you what that's going to do. That's going to cause the BYU Cougars to upset the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Ooh.
That's what that's going to do. They are fired up. He knows the school is behind him. The students know he's not leaving. It's going to bring in another type of energy. We are going to have an upset. We're going to go BYU in that game. I'm going completely off energy of what happened with BYU. Like you said, hard to beat a team twice. Let's give a little bit of a chance here. Let's see what they can do, and I like it. Let's go. Let's go a little bit of an upset. Let's start off fun.
Snug said he wants chaos.
That's right.
Chaos.
That's right. Show us why. Show us why
BYU.
we paid you. Show us why we paid you.
Yeah, because BYU is the chaos upsetter here. So, all right, J. Mick, what do you think?
I mean, I gotta disagree, man. Like I watched that first Texas Tech BYU game. They took them boys to the woodshed, but that wasn't a good game at all. And I don't see how it's any different. I just think Texas Tech is a whole nother tier. I don't even think it's I think if Texas Tech stay in that conference for the next 5 to 8 years and nothing, nothing with the structure of paying athletes or NIL changes, they're literally gonna win that conference. I don't see how they don't win that conference every year. I just don't see it. And I think Texas Tech sees this opportunity to get a top 4 seed. And I think they're gonna take these boys to the woodshed one more time, personally.
Remind you, this game is being played on a neutral site. It's being played in Jerry's World in Eggtown, Texas. Shout out to the 817. So we gonna see.
Is that really neutral though?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that neutral?
I mean, protect BYU is a neutral site. Protect their home.
See, there we go. Another reason BYU, man up. They're not even giving you an advantage.
It's
BYU against the world.
Look, that's just down. Look, Lubbock is just down I-10 going west.
And I guarantee you, they're gonna make that trip.
I mean, they probably already scheduled the flights already coming in because we do got some snow up there in the northern half of the country. Shout out to those that are kind of snowed in a little bit. But yeah, so it is what it is. Let's move on to the next conference championship because they may or may not be in the CFP this year because of how their conference rules kind of are and the way that they have their championship set up. So we got Virginia versus Duke. Remind you, Duke is 7-5. Virginia, they should be 10-2. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But it's
10-2.
It's 10-2. Okay, so this is not looking good for the ACC. As we had the conversation earlier, they're having to pick between Notre Dame and Miami. Miami's not getting a chance to play in the ACC championship. SMU lost to Cal because it really was supposed to be Virginia versus Cal versus SMU, but they lost to Cal, which basically caused a ripple effect that sent 75 Duke into the ACC championship. So I'm not sure because I've never seen a 75 team in the college football playoff. We're talking about a 3-loss team is going to be in there. I don't think a 5-loss team is going to do that. So just like DT is saying, shout out to DT. He's at a high school basketball game tonight, y'all. So he wasn't with us tonight. But G5 is really rooting for Duke because if Duke win, another G5 team get in. So let's talk about this game. With the ACC and the ACC in general. J. Mick, what do you think about this when it comes down to this Virginia versus the 7-5 Duke?
I mean, the ACC as a conference better hope to God Virginia win this game. I mean, as a conference, and I'm not a huge conference guy. Like, if y'all don't know, I'm not I cheer for my teams. Like, I don't, I mean, you ain't gonna catch me cheering for Alabama, LSU. Like, I just don't roll that way. But in this scenario, if I was an ACC team, I'd be cheering like hell for Virginia because if Virginia don't win, y'all are not getting the team. Like they're not putting Duke in there. So you better cheer like hell that Virginia win because what will go along with winning is when your conference plays in these games, you get more money. So you got to hope that. I mean, I do think Virginia going to win. Like I think Virginia's a very good team. There's a I mean, like there's one like they lost 2 games, but I mean one of the games they shouldn't have really lost, but they did. And I think they're ranked like 16th or 17th right now. So I think they should be able to take care of business, and I may beat Duke.
Pull a Clemson. That's what they can probably do. Snugs, what do you think about this game?
No, I have to agree with J-Mick. I mean, I don't know if you guys don't know yet, I have like a pretty strong rule that it's hard for me to root for like basketball schools, to like win like big games like this, Duke, and also listen, and right now I'm very mad at Duke. Very mad at Duke after that 1-point loss. I don't even want to reminisce it down because it's making me mad again. But anyway, so I'm hardcore Virginia. Give me Virginia. But what's the spread? What's the spread, Sehan? What's the spread?
We need money.
We're making money.
I'm taken aback. I'm still trying to figure out how did they even get here? How did it?
There it is. See, that's what I'm saying. So there it is. Put your money on Virginia, folks. Coach K's not out there. Coach K's not out there. Boozer cannot play football for them. Go Virginia.
But I think it's because
they lose every non-conference game and just lose 2 games in the conference.
Like how did this even 5 happen? Losses? What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
That's how they got there. I mean, like they lost 3 out of conference games and they only lost 2 in conference. So yeah, that's how they got here.
Look, I'm gonna keep putting this over here because
I'm sorry. The spread is 4. The spread is 4 for Virginia. So I mean, Virginia's not even expected to run away in this game. I don't know.
But the game.
So real quick, you said something you said that if Duke wins, a second G5 team can get into the playoff.
Yep. JMU
that's crazy.
and North Texas are looking to get in.
But I believe the reason why the spread is so low because the game's in North Carolina. I think that's
Miami is they would be out of it like totally, like there's no way for them
because they will give the nod that would give the nod to Notre Dame in a sense.
Yeah.
So, because Notre Dame right now is in the playoffs technically. So, depending on the Texas, so like Notre Dame right now is cheering for BYU. Let's just put it like that. They're hoping BYU can get it because that would definitely put Miami out. But Miami right now is hoping Texas Tech win, but Miami got to be careful and cheer like J Mick said. You got to cheer for Virginia at this point.
So real quick. I'm sorry. The G5 part just threw me totally off. I got stuck at that point right there. So North Texas, Tulane, James Madison. So possibly 2 of these 3 teams can make.
So whoever wins the championship, I think between Tulane and North Texas will get in, and then they got James Madison that's right there too.
Wow. Oh boy.
Yep, because all this you already Tulane moved up, and then James Madison and North Texas are the new rankings who were not ranked before.
If you got this is the nuclear option that I wasn't even prepared for. You guys have enlightened me today. Thank you so much. You learn something every day. But if 2 teams from G5 conferences make this tournament,
blame the ACC.
Miami and
blame the ACC.
Texas. Oh man.
Hold
City,
on,
baby.
No.
I'm rooting for that. I don't even know what has to happen no more. Just give me that.
No, but see, that's the thing. And then I'm gonna hold on that because we're about to get to the SEC and we're gonna get to the other 2 conference championships that actually got stuff kind of on the line in a sense. But blame the ACC. The way their tie-breaking rules is the reason why Duke is there. That's the reason why. It's the way they have their tie-breaking rules over there. So blame the ACC on that. They messed up their own conference.
Yeah.
Because they could have had a Virginia versus Miami if that was the case. You could have did that. You could have did Virginia versus Miami. They're the only other team in there with a second loss. Besides, Georgia Tech took a 3 loss, so never mind. But if anything, that's who blame them. That's why we're here looking at another G5 team could be getting in.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they should. That's kind of crazy. I feel like everybody should have the same rules, same guidelines.
I mean, they should.
You know what though? It's so hard with these conferences being so
I know.
big now. It's like
and there's too much money involved.
I mean, everybody can't play everybody, and I don't know exactly what the ACC rules go or anything, but it's going to be kind of hard. The playoff is expanding. Everybody can't play everybody, and I heard someone say earlier that these championship games are starting to lose some of their importance, and some of the how should I say the prestige, if you will, because it's not it's not the end all be all anymore. I mean, it's always a national championship, but it was only 4 teams. It's like, hey, everybody's not going to make it, so.
I mean, beforehand we was. Go ahead.
You know what college should consider?
What?
You know how the NFL every year you rotate and you're always going to play 2 different divisions?
Yeah.
They should do that for college.
Yeah. But then you got crybaby Texas that don't want to play these.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, and like to see Hen's point, like there's too many, there's too many conference and moving parts, and I know there's too many money involved, but it's just like, yeah, like I don't know, like the more and more you talk out loud, like in these kind of discussions, you start to realize, it's like, man, it's like, are we really going to field the best teams for this playoff now that we're having this discussion about this Virginia Duke game and so like I would just feel like there would be some type of way you might want to attempt to streamline it. That's all. At some point in time, but yeah.
No, I mean that's kind of what the conferences are doing now, because I know we put out a schedule. I know the SEC put out a schedule with some of the top teams, like your team, my team, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina. We're rotating and playing. Like we got FSU on our schedule. Supposedly next year we're supposedly playing Louisville. Going there doing a home and home. We got our home and home with Ohio State in 2030. So we're SEC's doing what we're supposed to do. I can't.
Some of them, the big dogs are.
Well, I mean, the
some
thing
of them tucking tail and running. Some of them tucking tail.
South Carolina is not a big dog. I'll be honest, they're not a big dog, but
some teams still need them big games now. Some teams,
and they do. Vandy, we looking at you, but again, we're not gonna talk because I'm a clown Vandy here in a second. So we are going to go to the Big Ten. We're going to go to the Big Ten. Big Ten going against, you have Ohio State going against Indiana. Shout out to them Hoosiers. But this game is really one of those games. It's just being played. I don't want to say for fun, but it's being played for fun. And regardless of who comes out with the loss, this game is just going to determine seeding. We already know if Ohio State wins, they're going to remain number 1. If Indiana, they'll probably drop down just a little bit. They probably won't remain in the top 4, but they'll just drop down to another seeding at this point. So they'll just have to play at home and play the first round. So real quick, we can round table this. Snugs, what do you think about this Ohio State and Indiana game?
I mean, definitely, obviously, the best one that we've talked about so far. Man, I mean, yeah, it's a little. I would obviously still want to lean towards Ohio State, but I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think it's gonna. I think it's a good game people want to see and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I would still lean a little bit towards Ohio State. I mean, they start off a little slow against Michigan, but I think that had a lot to do more with the matchup and kind of the stuff that goes into that game and things like that. But yeah. I think Ohio State will win it, but I think it's gonna be a really good football game. At least it should be.
Hopefully it'll be. We never know. Mendoza pulled out a good nail biter against Penn State, so let's see. See him. What's the spread on this one? We need money, and what are your thoughts?
This spread is Ohio State by 4, over under 47.5. I think it's going to be a good game. My fingers are crossed. I don't know if this game is going to really have an affect either team in terms of their seeding. I guess if somebody gets blown out, maybe that'll kind of affect things. But I think both of these teams are going to probably still maintain their top seeds and probably get a bye in that first round. I'm eager to see Ohio State play against, another team of Indiana's caliber. Both of them haven't really had the roughest of schedules. Wasn't the strongest year for the Big Ten this year. And I want to see, how they measure up. Indiana did beat Oregon this year. So good game. Got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping that they can at least they'll have a great game and they come out of unscathed, because I want to see them at full strength going into the playoffs.
Okay, J Mick, what do you think? It's been some back and forth canter between the SEC and the Big Ten, but we gonna talk about that later.
I mean, I agree with what you said mostly. Like, I think unless one of these two teams get blown out, I don't see how they follow the top 4. I think if Ohio State beats Indiana by 3 points, like, I mean, and let's just say Georgia, hypothetically Georgia wins. I think Georgia might move up to 2, and then they might push Indiana back down to 3. It might be a situation like that. But if one of them gets blown out, like I think maybe like if Indiana gets blown out, they might move down to 4. Maybe I just think there's going to be two Big Ten teams in the in the top 4. And I don't think this game going to be a blowout. And when I look at Ohio State, like, I mean, they didn't really play a lot of people. Indiana played Oregon, I guess, and they didn't play a lot of people. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this game goes. Like, I'm gonna go with Indiana, man, because I've seen them play a couple games. I like their defense. I like their offense. I like the quarterback. I like the wide receiver. And I think they can cause, Ohio State some issues. And I mean, Ohio State did dominate Michigan, but I was watching that game. And I wasn't like I was super impressed. Like, I was just like, yeah, like I get it's a rivalry game, but like I would expect them to dominate that game more, seeing as that Michigan offense really not hitting on that. So I mean, I'm gonna go Indiana. Like I think they got a good chance to win the game, win the conference, and the game is in Indiana. I know them folks is gonna pack out that stadium because it's in that state. And I mean, the thing is like
Indiana, Indianapolis.
Yeah, and the thing is like Ohio State has been to a number of these games, like these like Big Ten championship games. So I mean, I think the Buckeye fans will travel. I just don't think they're going to travel as good as like the Hoosier fans. That's all.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. I like that. I like that little pick with Indiana. And like I said, it is a close game, so we'll hopefully we get. So let's get to the big juggernaut. And the only reason I saved this one for last because this one has very much CFP playoff implementations for one team. Now, the way the committee made this game and made this game of its support, and this is a dang if you do, dang if you don't game, win the SEC championship, which is pretty funny because normally somebody that plays in this game who loses normally doesn't go. But the way the committee kind of made it sound like was that Alabama still, even if they lose, will still more than likely be in unless they just get blown out. But neither here nor there. With that, so Georgia versus Alabama. Hen, what do you think about this game when it comes? Because I know I got my other two SEC, so I'm going to save them two for last. But what do you think about this game being in there? If an Alabama does lose, there'll be a 3-loss team, and we just had our discussion about 3-loss team. But what do you think the committee is trying to do with Alabama? Because they still got Alabama not below the cut line. Alabama's actually ranked 9th in the CFP's following ranking.
Yeah, I think they're trying their best to keep them in there. As Jay Mick said, I heard you say, man, you said they're trying to protect them. They're trying to keep them, you know what I'm saying, cover, give them a little SEC cover. But you know what? I'm not totally mad at that. I think that if they do lose this game, and if it's a tight game, I think they have probably deserved the shot to play. I think they're one of the 12 best teams in the nation. And I think that if that were to happen, that pits them directly against a team like Texas. So if we have, and I don't know what has to happen in front of them, but just say if it comes down to a 10-3 Texas and a 10-3 Alabama, I think Alabama definitely has the head-to-head.
Well, they have the extra game because Texas is only at 9-3. So this is like an extra game for Alabama right now.
So it just from the eye test and the head-to-head battle, I would say, and the head-to-head battle was fairly recently, I would give the nod to Alabama. But then what happens to if Notre Dame gets in and Miami doesn't get in, and we use the head-to-head to separate Alabama and Tennessee, and didn't use it for Notre Dame and Miami. So it's very, very interesting. I think that is kind of the option if Alabama gets in this game and gives Georgia a run, but lose this game. I think that they will get the blessing because they still got the SEC cover. Saban, is still there. And I think they have proven that they are still one of the best 12 teams in the nation. So they would probably get the nod and open that Pandora's box for that 3-loss team to make it.
Go ahead, Sligs. What do you think?
Well, there's no way there could be like a tie, right? We can't have that happen, unfortunately.
No.
All right. I mean,
this is not the NFL, man.
I know. No, I mean, this is another one where it's like, it's I can't imagine. Did you say what the spread was, Hen? If you did, I'm sorry, I missed it because I can't imagine.
This one is 2.5.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, this is.
It's 50-50 right now. I'll be honest with you.
That's the funny thing.
No, it went up, but it's going up, favoring us.
Yeah, favoring us. Yeah.
Yeah, favoring Georgia. Yeah, I'm leaning Georgia. Oh man, I'm going to give a slight edge to Georgia in this one. Although this is tough.
We didn't
It's a
ask
little
to be
harder.
here.
Yeah, it's a little harder to pick because what Jamie said about the Ohio State stuff, that's why I kind of alluded to when I brought up I didn't really love how they started that game against Michigan, but I feel like this is a little tougher to pick. I don't, but I'll give the nod to Georgia. I think they're a tad bit better this year, but tough game.
We didn't ask to be here. We supposed to be perfectly seated and waiting.
Sure. Oh, no, I'm definitely gonna watch
has
it.
to be here, but I mean, we always find our way back here, man. For some reason or
Second
another.
year in a row, somebody folded. Yeah. We ain't gonna mention their name, Texas A&M, but they folded, and we here. But go ahead, J Mick. What do you got for us?
I try to be a non-biased kind of guy when I give my analysis, but I'm just not doing that with this. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm never gonna not pick my team going against Alabama. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just not. Like, the first game we played, I said we was gonna win that game, and there are plays I could point to where we could have did different things and we could have won that game. And I just think our defense is a lot better than that week 4 matchup. But I also feel like Bama defense got better too. And then I feel like if Georgia could just get pressure on Ty Simpson, and then they can
corral the middle.
Yeah, and they can corral the wide receivers. I think they'll be fine because to me, Ty Simpson is the engine of that offense. I mean, like, you slow him down because they really don't run the ball that well. So if you could just do that, I mean, and you just not turn over the ball, and the offense defense do what they're supposed to do, we should win the game. And I mean, like, it's always good to beat Bama. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to the people. Like, I always want to beat Bama all the time. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, we didn't ask to be here. We're here. Alabama fans really didn't want to play us again, and they didn't. Again, it's hard to beat a person twice. They're using the fact that they always have beat us, but I'm just like, I gotta remind y'all, you beat us in the SEC championship that one year, and who won the Natty that year. So we beat y'all when it matters. So again, I'm just at this point. Again, if we lose this game, we just won't get a bye. We get a home game, we get a playoff home game, which will be definitely fun for us because we get to go back to Stanford Stadium for the last time. But again, this SEC championship is just like seeding purposes. Does Alabama go up or do they go down? And if they go down, that's when the conversation is probably going to be had between them and Texas or them, Notre Dame and Miami. However the situation is going to play out. That's just what the situation is going to look like for that. So go ahead, see here, because I know you're about to ask something.
I got a question. I got a question. I want all you guys' input on this. What do you guys feel about a 3-loss Alabama team getting a nod possibly over a 2-loss Notre Dame and a 2-loss Miami?
Oh, I mean,
I'm gonna say they're gonna hit the SEC bias.
Yeah, I was just saying no. I was gonna say this, Sehan. It's actually funny you asked a question because I meant to say it when we were talking about the game because J-Mick had said earlier, or somebody had said earlier that there really hasn't been a 3-loss team in the playoffs before, right?
Yep.
And to me, after hearing that, now look at who possibly it could be. Could you have a more safer team to pick than the Alabama Crimson Tide? Oh, they've won so many championships that we know. They've been the darling of the SEC. They are an SEC team, so clearly they're good. So if the committee was going to do it, could you not pick a more obvious team? Because they know it's going to be a safe choice. Because that's a team that people will complain about maybe for like 10 minutes and eventually it's going to say, well, it's Alabama. And then when you look back at 2 years from now, yeah, but remember Alabama got with 3 losses. Yeah, but that was Alabama. You're going to move on right past the conversation. Yeah. So that's how I see it, man. I think does it deserve more? I don't know about that. I think that's a great conversation, but I think the committee is going to see it as if they're going to do it. This is the perfect school to try it with.
I mean, the only thing I tell you is last year they was in the same situation. Well, not the same. They didn't make it to the SEC championship game. They had 3 losses. and they were the first team out.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's happened to them just last year. So I just can't see them. The problem, like, so here's the problem. With this whole situation. What this can create is if Alabama does lose and you push them out, teams are gonna not want to play in their conference championship games because
they already don't.
They're not gonna want to risk losing, and then the committee's saying, "Oh, well, since you lost, now you're not gonna make the college football playoff."
Right.
So,
no, that's a fair point. That's a really fair point.
So I think it's a real, it's a real issue where if Bama was to lose, like let's say Bama lost by 2 touchdowns, and you take them out, the next year, like the teams are gonna be like, well, what's the point? What's the benefit of playing in the the conference championship game? There's no point in this.
I think the benefit is that they can possibly get higher in this, he said, seeding wise. But you can also get bounced out if we get to a point where we're not looking at the total body of work here. I mean, to your point, yeah, it's an extra game, and I understand that, but it's a privilege though, to play that game as well. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And again, if you do lose it by 2 touchdowns, now we're getting to kind of, you kind of getting handled out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might need, but I'm looking at their schedule, and they lost to Oklahoma, and then this say hypothetically lose to Georgia.
They got that bad.
Those are 2 pretty good losses. Now the Florida State loss is not a good loss, and it becomes very complicated at that point. But I kind of stand with you, Snuds. What say you, E?
I'm going to say this. Remember the ACC championship last year? Clemson made it to the ACC championship after they had their loss against Georgia, and I think they had another loss, but then they just went on a run. Made it to the ACC championship, ended up meeting SMU, came down to a last-second kick is the only reason why they got in last year. But then that's where the conversation was, do you let Indiana, SMU, or a Bama that has 3 losses in? That's why Alabama got bounced out. You had Indiana in, and then that's why they put SMU in. So they've shown they have let the loser of the conference championship in. But the issue where the real conversation is having, are we looking at the win-loss records, or are we looking at what's the production on the field when it came down to it? So again, did Alabama get boat raced by Oklahoma? They did, because Ty Simpson threw 3 picks?
And they only lost to 2 points. They only lost by 2 points.
Yeah, but I think Bama scored a late touchdown, which made the game closer.
Because I think he threw 3 picks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He threw so that wasn't a good look for him when it came down to it. Then, like we talked about Texas, we know with the Florida loss, and then it was some other games, and then you got blew out by Georgia. You can't make that one up. Then when you go look at Miami and Notre Dame, Miami beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame only lost by 1 to Texas A&M. Remind you, Texas A&M won only by 1 to South Carolina after being down 30-some points.
Yeah, I think it was 30 to 3 at the half or something like that.
Yep. And then they came back in the half, but then you got dominated by Texas with Texas A&M. So when we're comparing the records and comparing the common opponents, because again, Texas did beat Oklahoma 20-something to 6. That wasn't a game with that. That's the common opponent. Alabama lost to Oklahoma. So when we're looking at these common opponents and we're looking at how the schedule and everything, in my eyes, and this is just my eyes, I'm not on the committee, but this is just my eyes, all them teams look the same. They look average to me. There's not one win in there that's dominating. If we are going to take a win that's dominating for Texas, that'll be Texas A&M. For Alabama, unfortunately, that would be us. For Miami, that would be Notre Dame. And then Notre Dame, I'm not sure what win Notre Dame actually really has. So that's where we have the conversation. Can Notre Dame be actually in it over Miami, Alabama, or Texas? But I'm going to throw, this is me, I'm going to throw in this wrench.
Mm-hmm.
You got Vandy who just put on a show against Tennessee at home.
And BYU.
So now we have a conversation. So again, when it's all said and done, I think the committee needs to get with some rules and stick to them. Stop trying to, because I know in the committee you got different ADs from different schools, you got different biases. The head of the committee is actually the AD for Arkansas. I call Arkansas Arkansas, but they the head committee. He probably has an SEC bias, listening to Greg of the SEC committee to make sure that those have that protection over there to get the SEC in. So at the end of the day, you're gonna have your bias, you're gonna have it. It just, I need them to find people that do not work in these schools and that are football people. Get you a set of rules, stick to it, and let it be.
Yeah, but I think the issue is if you don't get people that's in college football, then you're going to have people going to complain because now they're going to be like, well, you're picking people that don't have experience in football. And so I mean, people are not going to be happy with, like, I've come to the conclusion watching college football my whole life, people are not going to be happy, one way or the other. Like, people always,
yeah, that's true.
They're always going to say this, that, and the third and all this. And the bottom line is, man, like, when you play throughout the season, you should have won more games. So I'm going to tell people, you should have won more games. If you won more games, then you wouldn't have to, you wouldn't be on the edge of your seat waiting on Sunday for the committee to tell you who's, who's 1 through 10 or 1 through 12.
Somebody's going to be upset. Somebody is.
There's always going to be somebody upset.
Somebody always upset. And
Florida State was upset.
Yeah.
We was upset.
Yeah. So the other thing is, even if Bama beats us, like, they're not gonna catapult them to the top 4. Because how you catapult a team that you already beat the team one time already? So I don't, like, they might go to 5 or they might go to 6, maybe 5, but the difference is, like, Bama would not be going on the road. They get a home game instead. Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, nobody's gonna be happy with the system. This is the system that we have. I mean, there used to be a system where the computers picked 2 teams, and that was it.
Somebody said go back to it.
So, like, we've evolved into a playoff. Like, I actually like the playoff system because the playoff system give you a lot of matchups, in December, January that you would never see.
Yeah.
So I actually like the system. I don't agree with the amount of teams. I think they should have went with 8, but that's besides the point. It's a system that we have, so we just gotta live with it.
Yeah, I agree. 6 to 8 is good for me, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. These are the same bowl games, man, that we normally get. They're just in different venues. This the same, pretty much the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The New Year's 6 reinvented. Hey, we're gonna keep moving you guys on. You know what I mean? But yeah, we here now. End of the road. Let's go. Championship week. Let's see it, baby.
We'll see. We're going to have a nice little show next week after this Sunday committee, and probably happy Georgia fans at that too. So,
and I kick my feet up because I ain't got nothing to worry about.
Look, exactly. Look, at that point, but let's go ahead and move on to the NFL because Jay Mick is still kind of kicking up his feet because his Patriots really ain't got nothing to worry about right now. But let's get in. It's almost getting close down to the end of the season. You said what?
I said we're on the bye week this week. I ain't really got nothing to worry about this week.
Yeah, you really don't. But no, so we're almost to the end of this NFL season. We are starting to get the eliminated teams on now, and the picture of who's going to be into the playoffs is starting to formulate. So we got a couple of NFL playoff games that could be elimination games. We have Detroit versus Dallas. That word is kicking my butt. We got Detroit versus Dallas, which is actually popping on Prime Video tonight. We got KC versus Houston, and I can't believe I'm actually saying KC. So KC versus Houston, and then we have a Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. So now we know that some teams already been notified probably about a couple of weeks ago that you ain't going. How y'all doing? All right. So we already know those teams that are not going. We kind of already seen the playoff picture. They make this team their number 1 in the AFC right now. And I think the Bears are number 1 in the NFC.
Number one with they funky selves.
So what they funky selves, for real. So let's start. I'm gonna save it since we got the 2D towns representing them 2Ds. We got them playing tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about KC versus Houston, because this is kind of crazy for KC fans. Some KC fans are pretty much upset that Thanksgiving game did not go the way that they wanted it to go, playing in Dallas. And yeah, this could be make or break. KC might can not make the playoffs for the first time in what, 7 years.
No, I think it's longer than that because they was making the playoffs before Pat got there.
Got there too, yeah. So yeah,
It could be about, I think it was about 10 years, I think.
10 years? Okay, I wanted to say 10 years, but I was trying to do for Pat, because I know some fans just became fans when he became there. So I'm just letting y'all know. But let's go ahead and talk that. J Mick, this is your side of the table. This is your side of the town, honey. What do you think about this? Are you sitting pretty in number one?
I mean, I think this KC Houston game, I mean, if I'm a KC fan, I'd be really concerned. I mean, 3 of their offensive linemen are not going to, both their tackles and their guard are not going to play. I think Josh Simmons got put on IR. The other tackle's out. Trey Smith out. The Houston Texans is not a team you really want to be playing if you don't got your offensive line ready, because that line gets after they get after you. Like, you know, from Daniil Hunter to Will Anderson, you know, on the edges. You got those guys. You got the linebackers who just love to, bust heads, and then in the second you got Stingley, one of the best corners in the league, and you got our boy from Georgia, Kamari. Like he's playing really well this year. Like that, like if you struggling, this is not the defense that you want to play. Like it's the number one scoring defense in the NFL. I think it's gonna be tough sledding, man. Like I think for KC to pull out a victory, like, their offense is going to have to do a lot of short game stuff, because I don't think Pat going to have a lot of time to throw the football. I don't think they're going to be able to do, do deep routes, and they don't really like to run the ball anyways. So I think it's going to be a very difficult game for them to win. And I mean, I get it's in KC, but I kind of got to side with the Texans, man. Like everything to me points to the Texans.
Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. Breaking news for college football really quick before we get to you, Snugs. Iowa State Matt Campbell has emerged as a focus of Penn State's head coaching search.
Oh, that's real interesting.
They trying to kiss every girl at the ball, ain't they?
I got at this point. You first one to hire your coach, last one to sit up here and bring one in. You let Florida and them beat you. That's a shame. But go ahead.
What they have 5 signees yesterday on signing day?
I think they had like 2.
They didn't sign nobody. Everybody in the class that they were supposed to have went to Virginia Tech.
They must have called me before they called Matt, because I'm going there on Saturday for my interview. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Oh, okay. Look. All
right, so Houston, KC. Listen, I'm all on the same wavelength as J McMahon. Like, this is if I was a KC fan, I would be starting my. I would have my saved drafts ready for my post of like, listen, it was a good run, like all those Super Bowls, whatever, it was fun. We got to obviously retool, because this is not a good spot to try to, because the problem is, it's like, I would have a little bit more, I guess, if you want to use the word faith, at the Casey's offense. It's so, it has its moments, but then it stutters too much. But you can really say something about Houston though, too. That's the one shining hope Casey might have in this game is, maybe Spags can make that Houston offense just enough, struggle enough, and maybe where Casey can put some points up. But I just think their line beat out. I think it's going to be tough. I'm going to lean Houston in that game, but I don't like the setup for KC in this game.
See him. What do you think?
Man, KC, we've been talking about their downfall seeming like the whole season, man. They just will not go away. Houston, 7-5. Davis Mills took over the reins and kind of got them in the right direction. And now CJ Stroud is out there and they're playing good ball. We talked about that division before the season. We didn't know if they were full of pretenders or full of contenders. And then we still don't know. 12, 13 weeks in, we still looking at them. But they have 3 teams, though, with 8 or more wins. Or 7 or more wins. So I'm going to tell you, Houston is playing really good ball right now. And it's hard for me to see KC beating them. But I just have a hard time voting against Pat. I just don't know, but we'll see. I think in this game, I'm going to go with Pat. I'm going to lean on Pat and see if he can make it happen. But if not, they could be the mock drafts may be opening soon for them boys.
Well, that is true. We'll definitely see about that one. This gonna be all eyes are gonna be on this game too to kind of see. Next is going to be Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, and yeah, this one is gonna come down to the wire. Baltimore did not start off the season very good. Pitt had a good start to the season and just kind of went crumbling from there. So go back to you, J. Mick, because this is your side of the side of the pillow. This is your side of the town. So, what do you think about this Pitt versus Baltimore match at this point?
I mean, the way, like, the best way I can explain this game is it's like you're in the club, right? And it's like 145, right?
Uh-oh.
And you know, I mean, like, there's not many girls left in the club. So I mean, you got the ugly girl, and
Are the lights still dim? Are the lights still dim, J Mick?
Oh yeah. They're still dim. They're still dim.
The lights didn't turn no. Where I'm from, where I'm from, the club closed at 2. So that's why I said 145. So the DJ turned on the lights. And the only girls you see is the uglier girl, and in the ugliest girl in the room. And that's how Baltimore and the still. If you watch them two play last week, they played like dog crap. And so for me, like, I guess I'll go with the Ravens, I guess. But like Lamar not looking good. I mean, I don't know what's going on with A-Rod and the broken hand or whatever. Like, I just don't know. Like, I'm at a place, and this is my conference. I can see a world with the Ravens win. I can see a world with the Steelers win. But I mean, if Lamar was healthy, I'd definitely pick the Ravens. Like, I would have no doubt about it. But he don't look healthy to me. And I mean, both the defenses on both sides look bad. So I mean, some got to give. So I'll give it to the Ravens because they got King Henry, and like the way that the Bills ran on that Steelers defense last week, it would lead you to believe that King Henry would do the same thing. But I got a feeling the Steelers making some adjustments. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I mean, I'm not the Steelers. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
The Ravens. Okay. Snugs, what do you think about this game between Baltimore and the Steelers?
Yeah. Jay makes it so right. Like, if this was maybe a couple years ago, or maybe earlier in the season, man, there would have been some nice juice in this game. But listen, I have to be honest. I think the Steelers are kind of entering the territory of they might be a little done. They might be staring at the old 8-9, 9-8, Mike Tomlin special. Sure, that might be enough to win the North, but I would feel really secure saying I don't think the Steelers would win a playoff game. But neither here nor there. I like the Ravens in this game. I think will have just enough. Could even see Kyle Hamilton causing a turnover because I don't know where Rodgers is at health-wise. And if Mason Rudolph plays, I mean, sky's the limit with that scenario. So, yeah, I'll take the Ravens in a classic AFC North game like a 19-13, 19-14 type game.
Okay. Hen, what do you got? I know you've been looking at them numbers too.
Man, listen. Pittsburgh, man, started off hot, but I thought that they were a little bit fraudulent all the time, all this offseason. Baltimore kind of got off to a slow start, and now they're kind of heating up. But I don't know what's wrong with Lamar. I don't know what's going on with him. I'm going to take Baltimore in a close game because I believe A-Rod is dealing with a couple of injuries to his non-throwing hand. He didn't look good last week. I'm not a big Mason Rudolph guy. And again, that momentum that Pittsburgh started off with is kind of slowing down right now. So I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Okay. Shout out to Big Mar. All right. Now, let's get to see Henry's game so we can get that, and then we can go ahead and get to our picks so he can go sit down and watch his Detroit Lions. But we got Big Town Triple D Texas versus the cold in the D Michigan going out there with Detroit. So this game is a game that can put Detroit in a position where they got to hope and pray for everybody else, or this could be one of those games where the Dallas Cowboys got to hope and pray for everybody else. So, Snugs, this is on our side now. This is on the NFC. What do you think about the Dallas versus Detroit game going on tonight?
Actually, I think this not that all the games we haven't talked about because what you said. I have to pay close attention to this game being on the NFC side. This is a very, very, very important game. Because effect on the standings, both these teams are not far, but like they're not too far off from like the teams that are 9-4, those like 6 and 7 seed guys. So Man, Hen. I feel like Dallas is playing a little bit better going into this
Okay,
game.
baby, it's okay.
I know,
Listen, I need some of that San
I
Fran
don't,
climate. I've been betting
feel like
I've been picking against San
DC,
Fran all year. Please give me some good luck,
know,
please.
and I feel like DC is like, it's like, sometimes he's like, he wants to call the stuff, but it's like, damn, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm unfortunate, and I hate picking. Because I'm a Niner. I'm unfortunate. I'm gonna have to take Dallas in this game.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna take Dallas in this
I'll
game.
take it.
Cihan, I'm sorry. Cihan, I'm sorry.
I'll
If I'm
take
not
it.
back
I'll take
next
it,
week,
man.
I understand. If I need to, but it's fine. But I
I'll
just,
take it.
yeah, I think they
No,
win.
I get it. You're trying to get your 49ers in. I completely understand.
No, either one could affect it.
They good. They got about 9 wins. They good.
No,
they good. We
no,
in the
but
back
it's
of the
not.
line.
But
We in
just,
the back of the line.
Dallas. Yeah, Dallas could get hot. No, it's just I think I'm just playing. This game is more of like in the moment game, and I just think right now in the moment, the game on Thursday, stuff like that. I think Dallas is just a little bit better right now. Right now this week. That's all.
Okay, J. Mick, what do you think about this game?
I mean, I feel like it's the opposite of the Pittsburgh Raven game. I think both teams offensively can put up a lot of points. The defenses aren't exactly lighting it on fire. It's just a hard game to call, man, because I mean, like I'm gonna be transparent. I picked the Lions to beat the Packers last week. They kind of burned me a little bit last week. I mean, I'm gonna stick with them, man. I mean, I'm gonna stick with them. They're playing at home. They're in Detroit, in that dome where it was gonna be loud. And I think Detroit finds a way to pull it out. I mean, St. Brown is playing. I don't know how healthy he is. But I think Jamar Gibbs and Jamo are going to be a big factor in this game. And I can also say on the Dallas side, I think CD Lamb and Pickett's going to be a big factor in this game. I think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks and who turns over the ball. So I'm gonna ride with Detroit, man. I mean, like I said, they were playing at home, and I think they got a lot to play for. Because if they lose this game, I think that's it. But like I said, it's something for Dallas too. So
yeah, okay. Hen,
hey man,
I know you're going with your boys. Just tell us the keys to the game.
I'm not gonna lie. This is all heart, no head right here. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 offensive linemen out, additional offensive linemen, not the other ones who was already hurt. We got additional offensive linemen out. We won't have Terry and Arnold in this game. We won't have Kirby Joseph in this game. We got to beat up Amon Ra. To J Mick's point, we're playing at home, and we haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 years. That's the only thing I'm going with right now. I'm kind of like Kansas City. Kansas City, they ain't missed the playoffs since 2014. That's all they got right now. That's all we hoping and praying right now. Dak is playing incredible football. CD Lamb is going to be a challenge. George Pickens is going to be a challenge. So, listen, man, I'm closing my eye. Well, I'm not going to close. I'm going to watch the game. But listen, I think a lot of points is going to be scored in this game. The over-under is 55 and a half. I don't know if it goes that high. But I definitely see us hopefully pulling this game out, man, by a field goal.
Field goal. All right.
27-25.
I mean, a win is a win at this point. It don't matter if
you
win by 1 or by 50.
Yeah, you'll take 27-26, man. Either one.
Somebody pass Dan the Blayo. He be a little too excited. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he got to relax. He got to relax a little bit.
This kicker, that's what you need to tell Dan. And you pay them dudes for a reason. Use them.
Just take the whole special teams aspect out the game. But
Look, there you go. All right, so we got our premier games that we're going to be picking. That's actually going towards our end of the season. Who actually picked the most correct this year? So we have Indy versus Jack, Chicago versus Green Bay, and then Philly versus the LA Clippers. Snooks, who do you have? I see 2 NFC teams that has an effect on you, and only one AFC team. So let's go with your picks for Indy versus Jacksonville, Chicago, Green Bay, and Philly and the Chargers.
So just pick them all at one shot?
Yeah, you can pick them all at one shot.
All right, I'm going to go I'm going to take Jags in a close game. I'm going to take the Packers because I think that game's going to I think the Packers defense will be better than the Bears offense. The 58% completion from Caleb, I'm still not loving Caleb the last, few weeks. And then the last one was, what was the last game you said?
The last game is Philly versus the
Philly
Chargers.
versus the Chargers. No, yeah, this Philly offense. I won't even get into apparently what some of the fans did to the OC's house. I mean, they're just. You know what? No, you know what? We're gonna keep the chaos going because we took BYU before. Sorry, C. Hen. We took Dallas and riled it up tonight. We're taking the Chargers. Shout out to the AFC helping out the NFC.
Look at that. Look at that. All right, J. Mick, who do you have?
I don't trust Trevor Lawrence, but I'm gonna take the Jags. I don't like the way the Colts is playing. Green Bay has always had the Bears number, so I'm gonna go Green Bay. I would have went Philly. But my boy from Georgia, he's out for the game, Jalen Carter, and the way that run defense looked, I got to go with the Chargers.
Ooh. Look, see, he didn't say, wait a minute, I know about all that. Hold on. Go ahead, see.
You enlightened me. So I heard that, Indianapolis hasn't beaten Jacksonville in like a number of years. But to Jay Mick's point, I just can't trust Lawrence right now, and they're a little beat up at the wide receiver spot. So I'm going Indy there in the get right game for them. Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay in this game. Jordan Love looked good last Thanksgiving, threw 4 touchdowns. I think he keeps it going against Chicago in this game. And I think the Eagles win this game over the Chargers. I think it's a get right game for Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. We saw AJ get all the catches and all the yards, and they lost. So I think they go back to a winning formula. He's probably getting 3 catches for 40 yards this week, but they get back on the right side of the win column, and they win this game over the Chargers, who are a little beat up.
Yeah, again, I'm going with Indy. On there, Jacksonville's been playing good football, but again, Trevor Lawrence is very inconsistent. Give me Green Bay over Chicago. I think their win over the Eagles is kind of one of those. The Eagles got caught slipping type situations, so I don't know if they for real just as of yet. And then just give me Philly. Philly got to have a get right game. They're still trying to make their way and keep their momentum going into the playoffs. Again, a team in the NFC East has not won back-to-back. So Philly's trying to more than likely break that. But the Cowboys are saying, hold my beer. So we're going to see how that one is definitely work with that. Those games. But again, we got some good college football coming up. We got the championships after that, a little break, and then bowl games. We're gonna find out who's going bowling and where they going bowling to. And then it's gonna be getting, chop time. NFL, baby. We coming up into 2026, and it's about to be playoff season. So some of our teams are gonna be good. Some of my teams are going to sit over here and figure out we're going to keep our coach or not. So until next week, you guys, when we sit over here and have those conversations about these college football playoffs and figure out what our teams are going to do, godly, who can NFL hurry up and come on so I can just get this over with? Because I'm tired, boss. I am tired. But we will definitely see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Make sure y'all bring some popcorn because it's going to get real interesting. We'll see y'all.
Happy holidays.